We got a new build pack for The Sims 4 called the Modern Luxe kit a couple days ago, so I was thinking that today we could give it a try and attempt to build something with it. The problem is that I'm more of an old-timey cottage or like, you know, blue suburban kind of gal, so this Modern Luxe thing is a little bit outside of my comfort zone. I really do like all of the items that actually come in the pack. It's more of the imaginary exterior that's kind of intimidating me. So I've been digging around looking for some inspiration pictures, and I have come up with two completely different potential styles. The first one is this more like modern luxe sort of building. I really like the carport and the big glass windows. I like the fancy balcony areas, but this kind of modern build is like completely opposite from what I usually like to do in The Sims. But then there's this concept, which is obviously completely different. This is like a modern take on a French country house. This is a little bit more my personal style, but I feel like both could fit the vibes of the pack, so I've been struggling to decide. Honestly, I might end up doing both inspo pics at some point, but I'm kind of leaning more towards this one today. And I was thinking that we could try and do it on this beautiful lot with this fancy view in Tartosa. At first, I was kind of picturing this being in Del Sol Valley, but I unfortunately kind of hate Del Sol Valley, so I don't really want to build there. There's something about the lighting in that world that I just can't do. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this particular build. I'm sorry, I'm just complaining. This is gonna be a relatively simple shape. I mean, for the most part, it's gonna be kind of just a big rectangle. I would like to have something fancy there. It's just most of these are too big. That's not really the vibe, so I'm kind of struggling with what's best to use. Maybe I could do this one. The freezes can just be so glitchy sometimes. It makes it genuinely hard for me to use them. This build is relatively simple though, so I guess it shouldn't be too bad. It's more when they're like really complicated shapes that the freezes give me such a hard time. Okay, so my initial thought for the roof was to use the hipped roof and just cover the whole thing, but I'm wondering if I should try and do something a little bit fancier. Usually when I do this, it's like a full wall upstairs, but I might end up doing it with just a platform. So what I'm picturing is that I could take this roof piece and sort of wrap it around the platform completely. I'm not sure how high up it should be. I'm probably gonna need to raise this up a little bit more if I want to have those fake dormers, but this is kind of what the reference photo looks like. It's just annoying because the dormers do that. There's like gaps before it and the rest of the roof, which is really, really bothersome. I assume that that's probably not exactly how that would work in real life. I don't really know if I care all that much though. I wonder if I put them high up and then got some sort of like trim around this. It is a platform, so I could maybe use something like this up there. I guess that does kind of clip in an annoying way. I don't really know what to do about this. I guess I could alt place it a little bit more, but then they get all in the wrong height. I've decided to give up and just let it be like this. I'm complicating things way too much. It is not that big of a deal. It looks good like this. I need to just accept it. I'm picturing the whole place being a sort of painted brick. I do like how this one looks. This is so much worse than I thought it was gonna be. I don't know what to do about windows. The Strangerville ones might be pretty, but they also don't come in that many colors, and they're not in many sizes either. Like there isn't a short wall height variant. I just like that arch part that it has. Okay, well actually these base game windows are almost exactly perfect, so I might just use these. This might be a terrible idea, but I kind of like the thought of building some sort of fake driveway that goes into a garage in the back of the lot. I can see that happening in real life, but I guess it's kind of weird. It doesn't really fit on this lot. Maybe I could put it on a wider one. This one's a lot bigger, but it's also wider. Ooh, okay. The lighting is a little bit strange here because of the trees, but it's also better than the other lot. That is not really a good sign for the other lot. It's a real shame. Sometimes the sun is in just such an odd place for the lot. It makes it very, very hard to work with. That's part of why I hate Del Sol Valley so much. Oh dear. Okay, unfortunately, I have also already started to use like 5 million more packs than I expected to. Would you believe me if I said when I first started this, I thought it was gonna be a base game and only the new kit sort of build? Okay, well here's what I've got so far for the main exterior layout. It's obviously gotta be quite symmetrical, which is making the back kind of hard for me to figure out. I also wanna have a pool because we just got the new pool kit, but then like, is that weird? Having the pool this close to the building? I'm not sure. I was trying to add in something like this just for like a slightly more interesting shape in the back. Maybe I could put the lounge chairs on there. So I think it's weird to use the same door in the back because it's got a mail slot. It might be a little bit weird, but that's okay. I'm gonna do it anyway. All right, now we are actually getting somewhere. So I'm gonna start on that interior floor plan. In the garage, we have a whole bunch of space. So I think I might use this to build like an extra bathroom or maybe like a proper laundry room in the back. Maybe even fit a car. Considering I just made an entire video about how bad I want garages in this game, I guess it make sense that I'm really going all out today. Maybe they'll have a fancy car, like a little fancy convertible or something. That looks so small in the driveway. I need a bigger one. This one's a little bigger. I'll put that in the driveway, and maybe we can have the fancy car in the garage. Okay, a little bit tight there in the garage. That's fine. We can put storage down the sides. I love this kind of thing. I think it's so cute. Oh, is that not even white? Oh my god, I used the wrong color column this entire time. It's like beige. It doesn't match anything. My bad. Hold on. I'll fix it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It looks kind of gray though. This is weird. It looks so different in all the different lighting. Oh god. This is a very small house. It makes the staircase very difficult to work with. I'm kind of nervous about this. I think I need to put the stairs way off in the corner like this somehow. And maybe we can have a bathroom next to them. Upstairs, I'm picturing honestly just 2 bedrooms. One of them can have an ensuite up there, and then there's just a long hallway. Maybe we turn this little part into a hallway next to the entrance. I'm trying to figure out a way to get a big empty wall that I can use for a TV. I'd also really like to have a proper entryway, which I know is kind of unrealistic of me. This house is too small for that, but it would be nice to have. Not really sure about what cabinets I'll use, but for now I'm gonna lay stuff out. I'm picturing the kitchen can go over here. Then we could maybe have a big long dining table like this, kind of in line with the kitchen. And then the living room could maybe be something along these lines with a TV on this wall. Okay, I don't know. It's kind of ugly. The furniture I've chosen to use in here as filler is not selling it, but you get what I mean, right? Then this is just a hallway. There could be like some pretty bookshelves and a bathroom door. Maybe upstairs we could have some more pretty bookshelves. It's gonna be probably a theme here. Let's start looking at all the kit stuff because I really would like to use all of these fancy wallpapers they've got. I don't know if I'll put them everywhere, but I'll definitely use them in a lot of places. Like this whole living space could totally have it. Maybe instead of an arch, I could get like a proper open entryway like this. Oh, ugly columns. Sorry, no. That works outside, not inside. I might do some really fancy wood floors in here too. And I feel a little bit silly, but when I made the video about the kit originally, I didn't really realize that the flooring in it is sort of meant to be a ceiling tile, which again, super, super embarrassing that I didn't notice at first. But like, look at that. Hello, duh. Obviously it's the ceiling. I don't know why like that didn't cross my mind, but it looks really good as the ceiling, so we'll use it. I can't look at this any longer. I have to get rid of it. I'll replace that stuff, don't worry. So in real life, they recommend that you hang curtains really high like these are. They're supposed to be like close to the ceiling, which is sort of hard to achieve in The Sims. Most of the time, I just hang curtains like the exact size of the window, kind of like this. I'm struggling right now to decide what I want to do because I think I like them super tall. And if you look up any advice on hanging curtains, they will tell you to do this. So I probably should do it. Right? I think I'm not sure about them being all white either, because right now the place is looking very, very plain. We'll be able to add in color through art and stuff. And then furniture pieces like these that have the gold accents are gonna bring it together more. Even the door has gold accents, which is why I picked it. I don't really know what sort of kitchen counter is Modern Luxe. I've tried a few different options. I wish that more of them had gold handles. There's a lot of silver handles and like black hardware, but I want to have the gold. These have gold, but I'm not gonna use that in here. That's just not gonna work. Oh, you know what? I could probably combine whatever I pick with these appliances, and that gives us that gold that we need. There's never the right kind of tile that I'm looking for. I swear it's always like slightly the wrong color. Oh no. Please don't do that. Okay. Wow. A completely gold sink is probably not exactly the vibes that I was hoping for. All the range hoods are too small. Nothing fits. This is not screaming Modern Luxe. Oh, this is an idea. What if we did the island living ones? I really like the waterfall counter on that. I don't know if I'll put any island chairs because there might not be enough space, but we could totally do it like this. The waterfall on the island kind of fits the vibes. Okay, I'm feeling better now about this. This is definitely an improvement. Currently thinking about using these gold lights as pendants above the island. The Dream Home Decorator cabinets do kind of match the island living ones. Still unsure about this. I am gonna let it sit there for a second so I can think about it more. And then I was kind of leaning towards a glass table. I can use that beautiful new light above it. And what about a big fuzzy rug? Is fuzzy rug the vibes? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't really know much about this. I'm not certain what I'm going for right now. I think I like it. Definitely gonna get a fancy fireplace in here, and then I want to use this really beautiful frame TV. This item is a TV. It's not even a picture. It looks like a picture, but it functions like a TV, so obviously we have to use it. This couch is from the Desert Luxe kit, which obviously is different from the Modern Luxe kit, but I feel like this maybe could work in here. The colors of the wood are not working for me, but I also don't have that much choice. It's so tight in here. There's like not enough room in this house for me to be doing what I'm trying to do. Okay, should I put the shelves that come with the pack on either side of this? It is hard to use these shelves twice just because they're so samey. I'm hoping that if I really try to mix and match and add different clutter on both sides, I can try to break it up a little bit more. Oh, this is a fun little random item. Can I use that somewhere? Wait, what if I put this thing just in the corner? Okay, sure. Do you think a couple of cat statues are Modern Luxe vibes, or is that's not really, no. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I tried. I'm trying to think of ways that I can like cover up the existing items. I was trying to like put a plant on top of this clock. I know it's silly. There's probably no point in doing that. Does it look like they're too similar? They are very similar, but maybe there's enough small differences that it's okay. All right, I am really struggling with this right now because I know that it's so tight and the door is in such a weird spot. It's just like not, I don't know, something's not working, but I don't really think that I can change anything else about it. I also didn't really think about this, but there's not a lot of empty wall space, so there's not a lot of room for artwork. I think I'll put some in this entryway along with a little entry table with a bit of clutter on it. I like the idea of one of the purses being here by the entry table. Obviously the entry is a little bit tight, so I don't want to put too much in here, but we can have maybe a little coat rack in the corner, and then you can come through here to access the hallway. I'll get a fancy stair railing. I don't think that we need to have too much in this hallway. It could definitely use a nicer light, and those ceilings are quite tall, so I can pick a big one. Oh, I just realized this might be a terrible idea, so hold on. But I just realized that I could maybe steal a little bit of room and then have this be open to the downstairs. It would be like a 1-bedroom house though if I did that, so maybe I shouldn't. Wait a minute. We could do this. Then both the rooms would have an ensuite bathroom. No, that's worse. It's worse? Never mind. Sorry, everybody. False alarm. I don't know what's gotten into me. I'm being ridiculous right now. This is a terrible idea. All that just so I can have a hole in the ceiling? No. Okay, well, we need a couple things in this hallway. For one, I want to get a thermostat. Actually, that's kind of it. Just the thermostat will do. We'll pick a nice bathroom tile. There's this sort of pretty marble tile that I'd like to use. I'll put that in both the bathrooms. And we can use all the really nice gold accent stuff that came with growing together. Is that too tight or is it fine? I think you can get in here fine. In real life, in a real house this style, this would definitely not be an issue. You would have no problem with the size of the bathrooms. I just made this house a little bit smaller than I probably should have, so we're making do with what we've got. It's so beautiful. I really like all the gold accents. I don't usually do this. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. I'm trying to think very carefully about the amount and kind of clutter that I'm putting around, because I feel like this house would not be cluttered. When you see pictures of houses like this, the kitchen is immaculate. Like, I'm not gonna stick a trash can outside, because in real life, they would have a trash can inside a cabinet hidden. They don't have like clutter on the counter because they put it away in the drawers, but then it always looks kind of weird in The Sims when it's completely free of clutter. Maybe I can use that live, laugh, love sign and put it over here in the corner. Oh, maybe they could have a drinks tray. No, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it like this. I like that, and I'm gonna go upstairs. So in this hallway, I'm gonna use the same bookshelf again. Or maybe I should put a desk. The vintage glamour things are probably really good for this style. I might actually look at more of that stuff. Maybe I'll use the vintage glamour bed in one of the rooms so we don't have the same bed twice. Oh, wait a minute. Should I have used this couch instead? Oh, no, you shouldn't have. Okay, sorry everyone. False alarm. I could probably put this little bar cart in the corner. Bar cart is good. This little guy is kind of cute decoration wise. And we do have stuff like these little perfume trays that we can add in. And some very beautiful fancy lights. Look at that. Wait a minute. This table might be better. It's got like marble on it instead. Oh, okay, I like that better. Of course, the pretty light comes in some nice colors. Maybe I could use that in the entryway. Could also be a nice touch as a stairway light. Upstairs, the hallway has a bit of space, so I might put a couple pictures. Maybe I could size them down and use 3. They're all 3 different frame colors. Is that a bad thing or is it fine? Can you get through here? Is this walkable? walkable still? I think it is. Sims are relatively smart, although maybe I should put the desk in a different room. Well, that's annoying. Why does the keyboard fit there? Are they all like that? Oh, okay. The slotting on this desk is bad. The keyboards are like almost falling off the edge. I changed my mind. I'm making it a little bit simpler up here. It's just the one table now. And then maybe, because there's this really beautiful mirror, maybe I could put that at the end of the hallway. We could potentially add that same plant again for like the 10th time in some random corner up here. Yeah, I'm worried about putting too much in this hallway. I'm nervous that if I add in too much furniture, it's gonna be hard to walk through. So I might leave it there. In this first bedroom, first of all, it's way too bright, but this is gonna be the primary bedroom. So it's gonna have more fancy stuff in it. And I've been using this color scheme everywhere, so I'll probably keep it up in here. I don't wanna clutter the nightstands too much either, so I might leave them kind of simple. And maybe I could combine this fuzzy rug. Sometimes when I try and use the same rug twice, I'll put something at the end of the bed to like almost hide that a little bit, make it like slightly less obvious that I've done it. So what if I put this ottoman here? You can still see the seam, but it's not too clear. Ooh, this room, I don't know. This is clearly not like the best room that I've furnished in this game, okay? It's not my finest work. This whole house is kind of just one color scheme, but I think that's realistic, right? Sort of, maybe? At least maybe in a house that's this style? I don't know. Ugh, I really just don't like most of the beds from Vintage Glamour. I kind of want to use the kit one instead, even though I already used it. I just prefer this bed so much more. The Vintage Glamour one I really, really don't like. You know, a lot of the stuff from Get Famous actually matches really well too. They all have this sort of like light gold vibe about them. I don't think I want to do all pink nightstands, do I? No, it should be white. I could probably do pink curtains in this room though. All right, that's a little bit better. It's not so bland in here anymore. That kind of helps improve it. And then we can get that computer that I wanted. Probably a nice one like that. Oh no, I should use a vanity. Wait, never mind. I don't know if you can have a computer. I'm sorry. Unless I swap this for a vanity. That is kind of like one of the main features of the pack, so we should probably use it. I want that record player in this bedroom because it does come in pink, and we can use that pretty perfume bottle painting because it totally matches. That could probably be the whole interior finish. It doesn't need to be that much more than this. The only other things I would add would be clutter, and I don't really think that it needs clutter anywhere else. What it does need is an entire exterior. So let's start there. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I just spent ages landscaping the exterior of this and realized that I wasn't recording. I was sat here talking to myself for like maybe 20 minutes, thinking about all this stuff, didn't press record. Okay, let me walk you through this. So I picked this debug little low-lying plant from Cats and Dogs, which I kind of forgot existed. I like the color of this better because some of them are a little bit too bright. This is the other one from the base game for comparison. It's just a way brighter green. So I like this more muted tone. And then I added in some little trees that match the trees that you see out in the environment. So I've got a few of those in some places. I finally picked what I wanted to do for the outside stone. It took me ages. I tried like 15 different things and I settled on this brick from Horse Ranch. In the pool, I've got a ladder and this really beautiful lounge chair and also some pretty up lighting. And then I used that same lighting around the front of the build, like in some of these window areas. I also put some trash cans in kind of like a hidden area behind some bushes, mostly because functionally we need them to be easily accessible for your Sims because I didn't put a trash can inside. So them being right here is just easier. And then on this little covered patio, I put some lounge chairs. And I realized that most people when lounging by the pool, they want to be in the sun. Not me. I don't. For me, covered patio with ceiling fan is luxury. Like I would way rather be here. So I put the lounge chairs there on the covered bit. And now I'm trying to figure out what flowers to add in. I like to layer my landscaping. So I do like a low-lying thing first and then go back in and get flowers. And I know I always use hydrangeas, but I actually think in this case, these big white hydrangeas are kind of the vibe. Doesn't that just feel kind of rich to you? These big, nice hydrangeas. And the whole house kind of is just one color. Like the whole house is white. So if I'm gonna use just one set of flowers, this is probably the time. I'm gonna get some terrain paint everywhere to help blend everything in. And then the last thing we have to do is just furnish the garage. Oh, ew, and switch the front pathway. I don't want it to be just plain concrete. That's boring. I can't believe I didn't record this part. Usually I don't stop recording in the middle of a build, but this time, because I'm kind of like pressed for time, I've been sending Dan to edit while I'm still recording. So I like recorded the first part, uploaded it to the drive, and then he started working on it. So anyway, I stopped. I stopped the recording in the middle for the first time like ever. And And as it turns out, that was not a good idea because now I've lost a bunch of footage. Okay, I'll use this little brick in the front path then. I think I'll keep the driveway plain concrete though. All right, so here's the exterior finished. I'm gonna go and do this little garage. We're gonna need to have a door into the laundry room, utility room, whatever you want it to be situation. When I was growing up, we used to have in the garage a shelf that we kept shoes on. So maybe this could be kind of a fun detail. And then in the laundry room itself, I'm gonna put a bunch of like storage things. Washer, dryer, we could probably get a cute little shelf above them. I'll put the sink in this corner. Maybe there could be a cabinet. Like this base game cabinet honestly kind of works for this. Should there be, I don't know, should I do tile? What kind of flooring goes in this room? I probably don't want it to be like super fancy, do we? Maybe I could do this sort of herringbone tile. Okay, probably don't want to use this weird utility sink then. It might need to be fancier. Maybe I'll put wood inside just this room. I don't know. I've kind of confused myself a little bit here with this. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, this house probably wouldn't have laundry in the garage. They'd probably have a way fancier setup inside the house. I don't know. I guess I'm just picturing in my head that this is like a multi-million-dollar house. And if you're gonna buy a multi-million-dollar house, you probably want easy access to laundry. Speaking of which, I have to give them hampers. Functionally though, hampers in The Sims, kind of annoying. When I do laundry normally, I'll put the hampers in the laundry room because your Sims clothes just automatically fall into them no matter where they're from. So if they change out of their clothes inside the bathroom, it'll still spawn in these hampers. So it makes it easier for you to have the hamper next to the laundry than to have it in the bedroom. It might be more realistic to have it in the bedroom, but functionally, trust me, you want it to be in the laundry room. Okay, I'm gonna get a handful of little things, garage things, like woodworking tables. I'll get the little decoration box. Maybe some crates and like a garden hose, I guess. Some stuff for cleaning could be useful. Okay, that honestly might be done. It's not like the biggest house, so it didn't take that long to furnish. Let me show you a quick tour of the finished product. So when you first come in, we've got this little entryway right here. We do have some storage. There's like a spot for your bag and stuff like that. You can come to the right and it goes into a hallway which leads you upstairs and also to the downstairs bathroom. If you come forward, we've got a huge living room with a framed TV. Then we have the dining room, there's like a little bar cart, and then the big kitchen. Upstairs, we've got a big long hallway and 2 bedrooms. There's a pink one and then a beige one, and also an ensuite bathroom up here. Outside, we've got a pool, we've got some lounge chairs, and then we have the garage and laundry room. And that is the entire place. Did I use every single thing from the new kit? Oh, I didn't put the shelf anywhere. Maybe I could try and find a spot for the shelf just so I could say I used all the kit stuff. Because I did use everything else except for this pillow. So maybe I could put the pillow on the chairs too. We could put the pillow on one of the chairs. Oh, that's kind of nice. Oh, I didn't use the full-length mirror either. What's wrong with me? We have to use that. Okay, there, I put the shelves up instead. I think that looks better though. Okay, now the house is done. That is the finished complete product. I am gonna stick this on the gallery in case you want to download it. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 84,000 simoleons. Oh my God. That's pretty bad. That's pretty expensive. Well, this has been fun for me. I always really enjoy experimenting with new kits and stuff, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to see my kit review of all the kit stuff and how I was feeling about it, I'll link that down below. I posted it on Thursday. Sorry about the extensive amount of packs in this build. I know. Tomorrow, I'm posting a limited pack build, and it's like bright orange. So if you're worried about the color and the extreme pack usage here, stay tuned. I'll make it up to you, okay? I promise. And I think on that note, I'm gonna end this video right here. I hope that you enjoyed it. The other big update is that on Monday, I'm posting this enormous resort that I've been working on. It took me like 12 hours or something to build. I was planning on posting it today, but then the kits came out, so it kind of threw off my upload schedule. So Monday, I'm posting it on Monday, and I'll see you all there. Okay, bye everybody. Should I still make that modern build I was talking about? I don't know. I'm no good at that, but it might be worth a try.